Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for May 4th, 2023 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. It was kind of a rainy, dreary morning. Kim and I started out at the Owl Woods, and it was pretty slow overall. I did pick up house wren as a new species for the season, and we also had a singing purple finch, so a couple highlights, but not too birdy overall. After returning to the parking lot, we continued down to the Salmon Creek overlook, and we saw the continuing Forster's Tern, or at least everyone's calling it a Forster's Tern. I personally haven't really dug into the details of why it's a Forster's and not a common tern. I'm hoping to do that when I have some time, but had nice looks at it as it was hunting over Salmon Creek. And here's the top of the wing of the same tern. It was still pretty dreary out, so we decided to make a quick stop by the East Spit, and like everywhere else, it wasn't really that birdy there. Had a yellow warbler, a couple palm warblers, and some yellow-rumped warblers, but it just seems like there wasn't really any migration last night just because it was pretty rainy and misty. I started the count at Braddock Bay Park at around 10 a.m., and you can see it was pretty gloomy. Not really that much raptor activity for most of the day. A couple migrants here and there, and it wasn't really until towards the mid-afternoon time that the sun started to come out a little bit, and from about 4 p.m. on, it was actually a relatively nice day with some sunshine. Winds the whole day were light out of the north, and then once it cleared up and the sun was shining, kind of switched to more of a moderate northeast lake breeze. Here's an osprey flying over the platform with a half-eaten fish. Here's an eastern meadowlark flying by. The first migrating raptor of the day was this juvenile sharp-shinned hawk. You can see that kind of long, squared-off tail tip, and a little bit of vertical brown streaking underneath tells us it's a juvenile. And you can see it has a relatively big eye on a small head, kind of a cute look compared to the more fierce look of Cooper's hawks. Here's a killdeer that flew in and hung out in the grass for a few minutes. It was pretty slow from the platform, and we had spotted some first-of-year white-crowned sparrows down near the path in front of us, so we walked down towards the corner out left in front of us, and we stumbled upon a couple of pine warblers. Here we have a nice bright one. And while we were watching the pine warblers, one of the white-crowned sparrows popped back out and let me get some photos. And here's another pine warbler in a very dull plumage, so pretty much no yellow at all on this one. And the mystery tern made an appearance on that side of the bay as well. We spotted it from the platform, and I went out onto the boardwalk to get this photo. Here's a Canada goose that was standing there for a minute with this dandelion hanging from its bill. Here's a raptor with somewhat lanky wings held up in a V, somewhat long tail, and kind of an owl-like face. So this is a northern harrier. We see it's unmarked underneath and in the patagial area, so this is a juvenile northern harrier. There's still a lot of double-crested cormorants hanging out around the bay, and here's one that flew across in front of us. Here's a yellow-rumped warbler that flew by the platform, and this yellow patch here is a good field mark to look for in flight. And again, you can see by the end of the day, the sun had really come out and it was turning into a beautiful day. And that sunshine brought some more raptors. Here's a peregrine falcon going by. And we even had a few broad-winged hawks move. And here's the top side of a juvenile bald eagle. And here's the underside of the same bird. You can see that big head and bill. The head's dark and the whole underside is dark. A lot of white in the wing pit area. Even trailing edge to the wing because all of the feathers are the same age. And by 5 p.m., we weren't really seeing any more hawks at the platform, so we moved into Frisbee Hill to see if there was anything going on there, and we did pick up a little bit of a flight of turkey vultures to end the day. And taking a quick look at our eBird checklists from today, in the Owl Woods we had 21 species. From Salmon Creek Overlook we had 33 species, including some nice ones. We had that common goldeneye, something I haven't seen in a while. And we also had a few field sparrows, which were nice to see, along with a couple of meadowlarks as well. At the East Spit, we had 29 species, and nothing too exciting or unexpected, but again, we did have yellow warbler, palm warbler, and yellow-rumped. At Braddock Bay Park, we had 61 species, and in our short time at Frisbee Hill, we had 22 species. Taking a look at our HawkCount report for our migrant raptor totals, we had 56 turkey vultures, 1 bald eagle, 1 northern harrier, 9 sharp-shinned hawks, 1 Cooper's hawk, 6 broad-winged hawks, 2 red-tailed hawks, 1 merlin, and 1 peregrine falcon for a total of 78 migrating raptors today. That brings our May total to 2,791 and our season total to 39,616. Our new species for the season were white-crowned sparrow and also green heron, which was too distant to photograph. And I also had the house wren over at the Owlwoods, if you want to include that as part of the season. And also that Forster's tern actually wasn't really new for this season. First of all, if it does turn out to be a Forster's tern, I had photographed the same bird over at the East Spit the other morning and talked in that video that I wasn't sure of the ID, but other people have told me that it is a Forster's tern. So anyway, I haven't officially counted it until today, so that would also be new. And looking at the forecast coming up, not the best winds, but at least we're going to have some sunshine. Tomorrow, looking at intervals of clouds and sunshine, slight chance of a rain shower, high in the mid-50s, winds north at 5 to 10, may have to move to Frisbee Hill, expect light to moderate migration. For Saturday, it's looking sunny with the high near 60, and again, winds north at 5 to 10, may have to move to Frisbee. And Sunday is looking overcast with a high of 62, and winds easterly may be shifting northeast. So again, we may have to go to Frisbee Hill. And for songbirds, if we take a look at Birdcast, you can see we're in relatively low migration for tonight, night of May 4th. For the night of May 5th, kind of in that low to medium range. And for the night of May 6th, we're getting up into more towards medium. So seems like hopefully the warbler migration will start to pick up. It's been slow the past couple mornings, and it just seems we're a little bit behind in the migration compared to where we should be. So we get some nights of light winds, and we might be able to catch up and get a lot of warblers coming up, which would be nice. So overall, in the upcoming days, it's not looking like the best days for hawk watching, just in terms of having northerly winds, which spread the migrants out and keep them away from the lake shore. We may have to go to Frisbee Hill and try to catch somewhat of a flight, and I'm sure we'll have some flight, especially like turkey vultures and things like that. But I don't really see any days coming up with a really good southwest wind or any southerly wind at all to bring birds and concentrate them along the lake shore. So we'll do the best we can coming up, but it seems like for the next few days, the next week or so, we'll just have to deal with these unfavorable winds, and it can be a little bit frustrating because you know that there's maybe a lot of broadwings on the move that just aren't making it up to the lake shore, and you put in long hours and end up with relatively low totals. But we'll see what we can pull out in the next few days, and hopefully there will be enough songbirds showing up to keep us entertained. I hope you can get out and do some birding as the songbird numbers continue to increase, and maybe you can even stop by and visit us at the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. From Lyco Birds, this is David Brown. Thanks for watching.